Hello everyone! In this follow-up video to my previous analysis of SOCOM 4, I'm gonna show you how the move controls would work if the game adopted some of the characteristics of the Sharpshooter implementation. There are in fact some peculiarities in how the controls work when using the attachment, which I think would benefit the vanilla move controls. So, for a better understanding of what I'm going to show you, let me first describe those peculiarities. The first difference shows up right at the calibration process, or rather past it, when the pointer appears on screen. As you can tell from this comparison, there is much less latency affecting the Sharpshooter pointer compared to the vanilla move one, and this is post-patch 1.02. A second difference relates to the size of the turning areas. What you are watching here, marked in blue, are the largest horizontal turning areas you can set, and you can see the dead zone between them is fairly wide, about twice as wide as the minimal dead zone in Killzone 3. When using the Sharpshooter instead, the minimal dead zone is much smaller and actually about the same size of the Killzone 3 one. As you can see from this side-by-side comparison, the difference is pretty significant between move and the Sharpshooter dead zones. Now, the third and most important difference between move and the Sharpshooter controls shows up at the controls option screen. When the move is attached to the Sharpshooter, in fact, a brand new entry appears called Turn Mode. Let's see what this is all about. You have got three options to choose from: Modal, Focal and Quick. Let's take a look at this briefly, starting from the Quick one. With this mode, whenever you hold down the L2 trigger, the turning system based on the traditional bounding box solution is replaced by a more direct one which maps camera angle directly to the move one. The pointer is still detached from the center of the screen, but you can look around at speed by simply pointing the move in the direction you want to look at. This of course means you can't spin around indefinitely, well, unless you actually stand up and do spin around yourself, which is one of the reasons you need to hold down the L2 trigger. Releasing it allows to recenter the cursor without orientating the camera, sort of like lifting a mouse on PC. Just like the Quick one, the Modal Turn mode is activated by holding down the L2 trigger, but in this case you don't get one-to-one control over the camera, but rather a super small dead zone, here represented by that little blue box in the middle. As a result, you can trigger camera rotation sooner than usual. This is similar to the zero dead zone solution adopted by modern combat domination, but there is an important difference. Notice the speed at which the camera turns as I keep the pointer within an area located midway between the center of the screen and its right edge. Now check the turning speed I get when doing the same with a vanilla move. As you can see, it is much lower. In both cases, the camera starts moving at the same speed as soon as the pointer leaves its dead zone, but since the modal dead zone is smaller, it begins moving earlier, and so by the time it reaches that blue area, the turn speed is higher than the one you get with a vanilla move. This doesn't mean the modal turn mode allows for a higher top speed though, but rather that it allows to reach it faster. In fact, as you push the pointer farther to the edge, the vanilla move turn speed catches up, and it eventually matches that of the Sharpshooter. The Focal turn mode is similar to the Modal one, but instead of having its dead zone fixed in the middle of the screen, it basically spawns it wherever the pointer is when you pull L2. See, here is in the middle, but if I release L2 and point at the upper right, that's where the dead zone spawns when I hold down L2 again. Notice how camera rotation and speed changes relative to the spawned dead zone, not to the middle of the screen. Now, out of all these options, the modal alternative is not only the one which I think works the best with the Sharpshooter, but also the one that got me thinking the most. Thinking about what, you ask? Well, thinking about how it would work with just a vanilla move, and without the need to hold down a button. Out of the three, in fact, the modal turn mode is the only one that doesn't really need the whole L2 thing. Well, it actually does when using the Sharpshooter, because there are reasons you want to have it on when moving around and off when shooting, but those reasons don't apply when using a vanilla move. For example, when using the Sharpshooter, you fight against a stronger inertia compared to when using the move alone, which makes simultaneous pointer and camera control in modern mode less tight than what the lower pointer latency and the smaller dead zone would suggest. Hence the need to be able to turn modal on and off depending on the situation at hand. Also, when using the Sharpshooter, aim switching is on L1 rather than on the move button, a difficult button to operate when holding down L2 as well. So basically I kept wondering how a dead zone as small as the Modal one, plus an higher cursor responsiveness, would change the way the controls feel with the vanilla move. In theory they should feel great, but sadly I had no means to verify this assumption due to the Sharpshooter exclusive nature of these characteristics. But then, after an ordinary day here at iWatch 3D,
di aver avuto 2 incontri sessuali per i quali Berlusconi gli avrebbe dato 10.000 euro. Ha trovato un pacco bomba, sembra destinato a Berlusconi a bordo di un cargo partito da Atene.
And because of this, the trajectory is determined by the...
Determined?
While I was stubbornly looking at a way to validate my theory, I've had a flash of inspiration.
Vescovi che chiedono Berlusconi faccia chiarezza.
It could work!
And I created this. What you're seeing here is the move controller connected to just the electronic organs of the Sharpshooter. This is the Sharpshooter extension connector removed from the barrel guide and plugged into the move extension port to trick the system into believing the move is actually attached to the whole thing. This plastic bag here contains the Sharpshooter circuit boards to which the extension connector is attached, while this little board here hosts the trigger microswitch. I had to have it accessible because when connected to the Sharpshooter, the actual move trigger acts as a reload button via the pump action grip, so I couldn't use that for shooting. As for the navigation controller, a simple rubber band keeps the L2 button held down, ensuring the modal turn mode is always on, effectively allowing me to play with minimal dead zone without sacrificing a finger for it. Now, with this abomination in my hands, we can finally see how vanilla move controls would feel like if we could set the dead zone to almost none and further reduce the pointer latency. As you can see here, turning with the modded move immediately feels easier and tighter. Not only does the camera turn quicker, but the pointer never gets too far away from the central area of the screen. With the vanilla move instead, in order to turn as fast as with the modded move, you need to bring the pointer closer to the edge of the screen, which means camera rotation triggers later, and you also lose the benefit of having the pointer within the central area of the screen, which is where an enemy can actually show up. Notice on the right portion of the screen how the pointer often disappears as I take these hard turns. It goes without saying that all of this makes environment navigation a much smoother experience, as you can turn, pitch and yaw the camera as little or as hard as you like with little cursor travel. Because of this, you quickly feel more in control of your character movement, and since the cursor doesn't need to travel too far away from the center to turn around, you are more willing to check your surrounding to the benefit of spatial awareness, which is quite important, especially in classic mode.
Airstrike inbound.
Grenade out!
Enemy airstrike inbound.
I'm hit! Changing mags. Reload.
You can also evade threats quicker, as you can quickly turn and run away from them, rather than initiate a slower lateral strafe as you wait for your character to turn, which is often the case when using the vanilla move. The benefits of such a tighter camera console extend to the circle strafing, of course. See how the mule is near the middle of the screen as I circle strafe around it with the modded move. And here is where it ends up being when I do the same with the vanilla move. Notice also how the pointer is closer to the center of the screen when circle strafing with the modded move. This is a good thing for two reasons. First of all, while circle strafing from an over-the-shoulder viewpoint, doing so clockwise retains the same benefits we have seen around the mule. But when strafing counterclockwise, it's much easier to keep the pointer from getting over the character model to the left. As for the second reason why having the cursor closer to the middle of the screen is a good thing, take a look at what happens when you invert the direction of the circle strafing. With the vanilla move, the cursor has to travel a bigger distance to stay on target, which makes it more difficult to keep the former on the latter during the transition. The consequences of all of these are pretty obvious in the following segments. See here, for example, how easy it is to keep the pointer over this moving target. Here I'm not even using full auto to bring this one down. Here I sucked a bit, but hopefully you can still get an idea of how easy it is to succeed in close quarter ballets. And on a side note, it's worth mentioning the benefits of the minimal dead zone when it comes to looking around when aiming down the sights, as the camera smoothly follows. Not that I'd recommend walking around like this, but it's good not having to slap the camera hoping for it to eventually point where you wanted. Another benefit of this homemade minimal bounding box solution relates to situations like this. Look at how fast you can do this with the modern move compared to the vanilla one, and while still keeping the cursor within the entrance area, which is where you might eventually need to fight through. Here are some examples of how this is actually helpful. Here is a quite good one, showing a similar situation approached with different controls and leading to different
Enemy has
outcomes.
secured Sector Alpha.
Oh, damn! Oh, damn!
And here is more footage exposing the beauty of this control system, which really does a great job in merging the shooting accuracy granted by the pointer controls with the camera responsiveness typically provided by a traditional controller. Of course, this being some sort of hack, it's not perfect, and some tweaks here and there would be needed if Zipper eventually decides to bring this to the game as an official option. The dynamic edge system, for example, is inactive, but then again it's already good enough to turn SOCOM 4 in a quite more enjoyable experience for Move users. One that not even the annoying camera assist can disrupt. In fact, since the camera reacts faster to your inputs, it's easier to counter its automatic leveling and the pitching described in my previous analysis. Remember this situation? Here is me recreating it with a modded move, and it feels like there is no assist at all, like when playing with a DualShock 3. This is because the dead zone is so small, it's easier to inhibit the upward camera tilt without moving the pointer too much below the blue icon, which is not the case with a vanilla move. This makes vertical confrontations much easier to deal with. Same with this situation. Notice how I can peek and hide from above these steps while keeping the camera fairly level and the cursor near the center of the screen. With the vanilla move instead, it's necessary to move it farther down the bottom turning area. And this is it. Hope this demonstration highlighted the benefits of this potential implementation. If it didn't, well, here is some hopefully more convincing footage, all recorded using the modded move.
Enemy has secured Sector Charlie.
Sir, we have a man down!
Sector Bravo secured. Enemy has...
Enemy has secured Sector Alpha.
Enemy secured all sectors. Defend the base. We lost Sector Charlie.
Take your name!
Enemy has secured Sector Charlie.
Get me out of here! Help! Oh, shit! Reloading! Oh, damn it, I'm hit!
Protect the command center.
Oh,
inbound.
Man down, sir! I'm wounded! Oh, damn! I'm hit!
Sector Alpha secured.
Reloading.
Damn! I'm wounded! Fire in the hole! Need to switch mags. Grenade out! Oh, damn! Fire in the hole! Shit! Sir, we have a man down!
Enemy has secured Sector Alpha. Enemy airstrike inbound. Sector Alpha secured.
I'm switching mags.
We lost Sector Charlie. Airstrike inbound.
Man down! Man down!
Sector Charlie secured.
Bravo.
We lost Sector Bravo.
Damn, I hit!
And that's all you had to say, you old motherfucker.
We lost Sector Charlie.
Cover me! Reloading! Oh, damn! Ah! Reloading!
Sector Charlie secured.
I'm wounded!
Sector Bravo.
Man down!
Cover me! Reloading! Fire in the hole! Reloading! Holy motherfuck! I'm hit!
They are calling in a strike. Stop them.
I have to say it almost feels like cheating, a sentiment others seems to share. Thanks for watching, ciao!